What is up, guys? My name is MipZ and welcome back for yet another League of Legends video. So today we are playing one of actually my favorite supports to play with, especially when I'm playing the ADC. We are playing Leona. Leona is an absolutely amazing support to play with, not only because of her stuns, but just because she's like all over throughout the entire game. She is a really good champion that just her kit just kind of fits into everything. She's a good initiator both in the early, mid and late game. She has good peel. Her damage is actually a lot better than what you might think. So she's just overall a really good pick, especially if you kind of learn how to play her. Anyway, as you guys know, in these guides, or in this guide specifically, we will only be going into the macro play, the decision making of playing Leona, meaning basically how to play her in the early, mid and late game. If you however want to learn the mechanics of the champion, the flash combos, all of this stuff, then make sure to go to my link in the description for her mechanics guide. I've left that one down there. We go completely into everything else that you need to know right there, but this one will only focus on the decision making. And I'll kind of use this this game as an example that you can so you can kind of get into my head and like see or hear my train of thought when I'm playing this champion and what I think about in the different phases of the game. So yeah, we'll just kind of get into this, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. If you are new to the channel, make sure to go down below, click that button, join in and subscribe to our channel. It's been amazing to see the Amazon support we've gotten as of lately, so thank you guys so much for that. If you want to see me live, go to twitch.tv/MipZ_live. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out a lot. All right, so here in the early game, then what we actually really do want is we want to get level 2 first. We did not get it here, slightly because these guys actually started the lane a lot earlier than we did. They did not help their jungler, and also we did an intro and Trist didn't push early enough. So yeah, everything just kind of collided. But in level 2, you actually have a really good engage on Leona. So it's something that you really want to think about and that you can take advantage of. Generally speaking, as we shortly talked about, then Leona is a great initiator and an amazing team fighter, and she's just an overall really good pick. We need to get up. Get this. No, god dang it, Tristan. God dang it. She's like all around a really stable champ throughout the entire game, and she's a support that honestly you can carry your ADCs pretty hard with. The thing you gotta have in your mind when playing Leona is that your stuns are not only stuns, but they're kind of like a way for you to peel for your teammates. So you kind of, every time you're about to use it, you have to think about, is this the right case to use it in? Am I disrupting something the enemy team is doing, or am I just randomly stunning? Like, let's say that these guys initiate and I go jump on Seraphine, but Seraphine's out of range of my Trist. Then is there any point of stunning her? No, because if she's not going to be able to hit my Trist anyway, I'm going to be wasting my stun more or less. It's better to use it at a point where it's actually disrupting what the enemy is doing. So this is something you really want to think about when playing Leona, is how disruptive is what you're doing. So as we got level 3 here, we're starting to actually be able to look for initiates. She has a really good level 2 and 3 initiate, but seeing as we're pushed on the turret here, kind of hanging back, and then we'll just kind of play a little safe. I want to get this. There we go. Right there. If the Ash walk forward, we'll go catch her, but we'll just kind of take it slow. We'll wait for the next opportunity to go for an all-in. Right here, I think we're gonna wait for me to get level 4 as well. But I'm gonna start looking for an initiate, because we are gonna most likely win these initiates fairly easy, or at least be able to trade it out really heavily. So I actually missed that really terribly. I'm gonna flash, and we're just gonna make sure that we get or stun onto this guy. No. Okay, we can swap target here. That was a super hard fail by me. But even though things are turning around here, I am going to be able to jump back in if necessary. Oof. Oof. Let's run. All right, that's well played. I played this really terribly, by the way. It was nice by Trist, however. Anyway, the thing that is with Leona is, of course, if you're playing in a lane where the ADC heavily pushes the wave, then it can be really hard for you to actually initiate fights and really do a lot. So it's something that you want to try and communicate with your teammate, is that it's not good for Leona to play in a lane where you're constantly shoving them under the turret. You really want to try and hold the wave somewhat in the middle or to your side in order to go for full initiates. Leona is not an overall, what you say, she's not a poke champion, she's an all-in champion, and she really likes to play with ADCs that have kind of the same mindset. So playing with something like a Tristana is amazing. Tristana has her rocket jump, she has really good burst. Also, like other champs like Jinx also works fairly well with it due to the... Oh, this is actually gonna be free if she doesn't. We're not gonna be able to kill anything here, but we are gonna be able to just poke a little bit. And I know I said a moment ago that this is not a poke champion, and it's not, but that doesn't mean right here they're gonna... If they overextend, they might actually... I am pretty much able to just jump right on this guy, and we're gonna be able to stun her. There we go. Sweet. Well played. I know I said that Leona is not a poke champion, and she's not, but of course there are exceptions to the rule that if somebody's standing on their all lonesome, then I guess if you know for a fact they're not gonna die, then I guess it's kind of a poke. But yeah, I think you kind of get the point. Like, Leona really wants to go all in. That's what she's really good at, and that's the way you want to play her. But of course, don't go mindlessly in. If you don't know like 100% that you're gonna win those engages, then of course don't go for it. You want to go for their ADC, generally speaking, when you're playing a combo with Leona. She wants to go for squishy targets. And she wants to lock them down as much as possible. If they have, however, let's say that we get a level 6 and we're playing against something like a Vel'Koz or something else along those lines that actually has a ooh, Vice right there. Need to get out. This is a risky way of walking, Trist. I'm sorry. This is really bad. We gotta go the long road, dude. If they have something like a Vel'Koz or something else that has kind of a channel effect or a big burst through a channel, then kind of make sure that you save either a Q or your own ult for it in order to interrupt that big damage. Because you don't want to be sitting through and having your ADC sit through a whole Vel'Koz ult or something like that, because that's literally going to lose you the fight. So really be mindful with how you use your stuns. Also, when you do jump on a target, then don't Q the target right away, because as we've talked about in the mechanics guide, then your E actually has kind of a route. So if you don't need to stop the damage or stop them from running away or stop them from chasing, then like you have your route from your E. So when you jump on the target, use the E to get to the target. Once they then move, then use your next ability. You do not want to... Okay, actually, I can stun this and that should be enough. Yep. I'm gonna probably die from this, but I'm gonna make sure that they also do. Nice. I don't know if jumping back in, I'm not 100% sure if that was the correct choice. Maybe I would have survived if I've just moved away, but then Seraphine would also. And actually going 1-for-1 here is better, because this means the Triss can just free push or lane, which is super sweet. She can get a lot of armor platings. So right here, let's get the mobility boots. We really want to get those out of the way. We get an extra potion. We got a control ward. So we're gonna start to establish as much vision in the bot lane as we possibly can, because their Vi is probably gonna start putting more efforts into our lane. So Trist is backing, so I'm gonna kind of just use my time to ward up, kind of get a feeling of everything. And a little whoop. I'm gonna try and protect this slightly, but I'm not gonna go all in for anything because I know there are two. But if I can just zone the Seraphine from taking my control, that'd be fine. All right, so I know for a fact there's a ward there. There's not much I can do to it before we've pushed this wave back. So we'll just kind of hang around turret. But yeah, Leona is just such a good all-in champion. It really comes down to what you need to learn on her is basically how she works with different ADCs. Like an ADC like Tristana is amazing because Tristana is also really good at all-ins. So with her, we can literally just kind of jump in on pretty much most combos and we will win if it's played somewhat decently. So this is something we really want to be thinking about when playing this champion. Like try and evaluate what are your win conditions. Like some ADCs you'll have to wait till post level 6. Others you can just go all in. Actually, I've been doing one thing wrong here that I actually just mindlessly clicked. I've been maxing my Q, and that's really not what you want to do. You want to make sure that... All right, I'm gonna just stop that and we'll flash away. Okay, so that was a really good gank by their Vi. We are gonna get out fairly easy. But lastly, or sadly, or Trist had to die in the process. But there's not that much we could do about it. We were trying to stop as much as we could. We used our ult, hit both Seraphine and their ADC. So we did whatever we could. I'm gonna try and just kind of hold this lane a little bit back. Gonna be using my shield, and hopefully some of this will be able to stay for Trist as she comes back, and we'll just last hit whatever is about to die. So we'll just get the gold that we can, and I'll use my Q on the big minion just to ensure that I do get that hit. So Trist is now back, and we're gonna be able to kind of just roll with things again. Yeah, so far things are going pretty decently down here. Trist is 5-1, and we're slowly snowballing this. We need to swap out or warding toe or yellow ward for a control or for a an oracle lens. That's our next... Oop, we need to be a little careful. That's the next thing we need to do on our next back. That's 100%. Right here, we'll just slowly ensure. And here's the thing. Now that we're pushing again, this is going to be really hard for us to go for an engage. And this is what we don't want. We want to make sure that we can go for an all-in. And we want to kind of look for this. I have mobility boots, so we can actually go for this. Right here, I should be able to just shot her off. Oh, I actually got the kill. That was not on purpose. We'll go close. We'll make sure that Trist get that kill, and that's another free one. So far so good. Try not to get the kills, of course. Sometimes it can actually be a little difficult with Leona just because she gives a lot more damage than one might expect. But when you are fighting, make sure that you just continuously think about how can you use your E, how can you use your Q, and how can you use your ult for basically disrupting your enemies the most you possibly can. Like, use your E for the root, use your Q for the stun, use your W for the extra damage, and make sure you pop it on yourself also for the extra survivability on yourself. You want to be popping this as you go in. If you don't need your jump, sometimes you can go through a bush, somebody steps too close, and since you have mobility boots, you might not need to jump to the target. Then just running close, popping your Q on them to instantly stun them, and then they might flash or dash or something else, and then you can use your E after them. Kind of think about what you actually need. Don't just use your E or use your Q or use your ult. You have to kind of think about, do you actually need to use this in order to do what you're looking to do? And this is something I see so very often that people just don't do. Like, they don't think about how to kind of preserve their cooldowns or their abilities for the right situations, because this is really what it comes down to. Leona is not the hardest mechanical champ, but she's a champ that really comes a lot down to mindset and a lot down to knowing what your enemies can do and then using your abilities based on that. Like if I run here, right here, you can see I don't even need my jump so far. I can run pretty close. I'm gonna use my E here. We can just stun. We can go for this all in. I'm gonna be using my ult here to kind of disrupt. She's gonna use flash, and we're gonna ignite this, and this is gonna be a triple right here. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I stun their Vi. Sadly, we did not expect Anivia to come down here as well. I gotta admit that. I missed a couple of abilities, but generally speaking, like what you just kind of want to do is you want to think about how do you keep the enemies off your ADC. You want your ADC to be free, and you with that, while having your ADC as a free champion, so they are not locked by a lot of damage or zoned out or something, then you also want to kind of try and think about how do you do the most damage, and how do you actually just kind of ensure that you keep your ADC safe. Like as we move into mid and late game, there's going to be a lot more apparent, because then you have two options that are a little harder. One of them being, should you dive their backline and stun their carries, or two, should you just go ahead. You can actually go for a, I'm not going to go for a flash play. We could have gone for a flash play. But you got, then you, in that mid to late game, you'll get to evaluate whether to protect your ADC or to CC their backline. And this is something that becomes a little more difficult for some people, because I know for a fact that like a lot of people really just want to dive the backline, but that's not always the optimal thing to do. Like quite honestly, then like Leona is so, like if your ADC is pretty good or just decent or average, then protecting your ADC is, at least in solo queue, most of the time going to be worth a lot more. I'm not even going to use my ult there. I'm just going to kind of wait. This should set us up for hopefully a kill onto their Ashe. We could go for tower dive, but I'm not going to. If she goes further out, I have everything. Okay, so this is really good. We kept our cooldowns, and now we're actually going to be able to oh, yep. I'm going to stun just to keep her off. And we're going to be able to snare. And we're actually not going to do anything else there. So well played by Trist. Kind of sucked that she knocked her out of our stun. But at the end of the day, it turned out fine anyway, and it didn't save Vi, but it could have. But of course, Trist was not 100% sure of our play, and seeing as we are not playing with a pre-made, she doesn't really know our style and doesn't really know how we play things. So she did what she thought was the best thing to do. And I completely get that. As an ADC myself, I might have used my ult there as well to try and knock Vi away, just because I was scared and I didn't know that my Leona actually kind of knew what she was doing. All right. So we'll start building our next item here. And so far, like item-wise, we're doing really well. We need to get ourselves our Oracle Lens, because I've forgotten that a few times now. With Leona, sometimes also here in the early game, if your ADC has to back and you don't really have any reason to back, then what you can do is you can of course walk up the river. You can help with a gank in mid lane. You can help your jungler ganking in the enemy jungle. You can deep ward the enemy jungle. You can do quite a lot of things, and this is also something that you really should be thinking about. But as a new Leona player, just try and kind of make sure that you stick in the game and kind of do it, like kind of just play around your ADC. Always follow him or her around. You can see right here, we're just following this Trist, which is going really well. I'm gonna just be stunning this guy. Okay, that was a miss. Hard miss. Okay, I'm gonna be removing this so they can use it. And again, just kind of using things predictably. We'll jump up here. I'm gonna stun Ashe because that is the major threat here. So that's what I'm gonna try and do something about. And I'm not gonna be able to do that much Might actually, wow, might actually get a double here. And oh no, almost a triple. God dang it, man. All right. Yeah, this is not like, but the reason why I flashed up in order to stun Ashe is because Seraphine had already thrown most of her abilities. So stunning her at that point would, like, I would only stop her from running away. And I would kind of, that was kind of going to be it. I would do a little bit of damage. But their Ashe was like literally standing there smashing Tristana in the head with her arrows. So stunning Ashe was a lot better for us. Our Trist did get too far in terms of positioning, and this kind of this really punished her because their whole team, or like she got 2 or 3 people at her on her at once, and I could only peel one guy off at that point. We already used our ult. We used basically everything we had, so it became too much. And she, even though she's fed, she was not fed enough to survive this. But again, we did come out of that pretty decently. Like, it could have been a lot worse. Sadly, we did not get the Drake, which otherwise would have been really nice. But whoop, and we want to make sure that we clear wards and get some vision going here. Nice. And I'm gonna put a ward. Okay, so we will be able to just remove this. All right, I'm gonna be running back over here, see if we can help out Trist. I'm thinking that we should actually be able to do this. Oh, another bit risky play. We are gonna be preserving our ult, and right there. All right, so right here we can actually go ahead and we can just instant stun this guy. Hopefully our team can follow up. All right, they won't be able to. Anyway, that was pretty good. We can just kind of keep this going. But yeah, as we get into the mid to late game, then in team fights, like, Leona is really a really amazing team fighter. But of course, as a support, you never want to be running around alone. So you want to be running around your ADC. This is always your job. Your job is just to stick close to your ADC, heal for this guy, and if there are nothing that is trying to dive your ADC, then you want to be looking to shut down the enemy laners. All right, right here, I do have my ult, but I don't want to be using it before I know we have no other option. A lot of people will tell you to initiate with your ult, and that's actually not very good usage of your ult. Your ult is pretty difficult to, like, it is, the thing is, it's your longest stun effect. It is your best stun and your best CC. But if you use it on like if you use it to initiate a fight, then first of all, it's gonna be pretty difficult for you to hit that ability. And even if you manage to, then a big part of the stun effect might not even be worth it because nobody is close enough to really take advantage of them being stunned. So if you want to go for an initiate, then it's more often like more useful to use your EQ or to use a flash EQ or something like that in order to go like all in on a fight. It's very rare that I would recommend you to use your ult. Of course you can if you know like 5 people are stacked on top of each other and you are able to hit it, but it will be pretty difficult for you. And especially as you come higher up in the elo, then it'll get even more difficult, and it's going to be pretty rare that it's actually going to be worth it for you to throw it because they're probably going to dodge it anyway. All right, let's actually get, you know what, let's get that one. Yeah, so far we're doing pretty well. We have 6 kills, which is not really ideal. We really want these kills to be sitting on our teammates, but we also have 12 assists, which is pretty decent. This means we've been a part of 18 out of 23 kills in the entire game. This is not a bad ratio. So this is something that you do kind of want to strive for, but just kind of hang around your teammate all the time. Make sure that you try and ward up. This is something I've kind of been what do you say, neglecting this game, and I'll try to do a bit more of it because this will also help you sometimes to just kind of group up with your jungler and go for a gank. So right here again, we have people getting caught out of position. All right, we're gonna try and stun and just keep people off her to the best of our ability. Yeah, there's not that much I could do. I wanted to try and catch up to this vibe, but I got poked too hard here. But the thing is, they're losing really hard in top lane. And we did do pretty well down here. We almost killed 4 people, even though we were only 3. So it was okay. And it actually let Darius just freely split push. So overall, like, this was not a perfect play, but it, like, I hope, like, fighting wise, it kind of gave you an idea, because you could see basically how I was not just sticking on one target. I was constantly, and this is what you want to do in Leona, you constantly want to reevaluate which target is the biggest threat to your ADC. And I'll say this once again, constantly on Leona, evaluate which target is the biggest threat to your ADC. This is your, like, this is the reason why you're in the game, is to protect your ADC, to set up kills for them. Like, literally your ADC's only job is somewhat to out attack and keep good positioning, and you need to make it easier for them to keep good positioning. And you can see that that's kind of what I wanted to show with this fight. Yes, I did not play that fight perfectly, but you constantly want to reevaluate who you're stunning, who you're going for, because you need to be looking at what does your ADC need. Does she need you to peel someone, catch up to someone, deal damage to someone? Like, what's the important thing to do? I actually had a feeling this guy might be here. Okay, sadly I got that kill. That was really pathetic, to be honest, that I got that one. Okay. All right, so our team wanted to go for Baron. This is actually very doable since we did get 2 people down. This is super nice. We'll just go in here. And so far, so good. Like, we can see, like, looking at the team, like, we've done a really good job feeding this Tristana. And I've not been playing this perfectly at all. So this is something you really... Are you freaking kidding me? That got stolen. Really? Yeah, that kind of sucked. I'm not gonna be honest. That was a little sad. Okay, well, it's a good way of making this game last a little longer. So hopefully we can show off some more stuff. So we got our Knight's Roll, which is really, really sweet. So we'll pop that one there as well. And at this point, we are just like, we're overall really, really strong. We're really tanky, and we're really good at just protecting our mate. And this is what we want to make sure that we do. So again, even though Triss goes down bot, I'm actually going to stick with her. On the way there, I'm going to go get some vision. I'm going to make sure we get vision on the entrances for our jungle. So I'll go down here. I'll put a ward so we know if somebody's running this way, and then I'll walk all the way down to my Trist, because as soon as she goes over the mid side of this, as soon as she goes past this point, then she's in a danger zone. This means that she is easier to gank right here, because she is pretty far out. So kind of stay aware of that. And there we go. So we do have some pretty good vision up most of the places. I'm going to put control ward here as well. All right, so they have their Ashe here. We have vision on 4 people. There are two mid and actually 2 top as well. So there's a maximum of 1 guy here. We can right here, we can go for a tower dive. If I can get in range for a jump, then a tower dive is very possible. Okay, so I'm gonna just hurry and jump on that. I might actually just die from this. No, it's gonna be okay. And the only, I really did not want to go this hard for the turret or for Ashe. I didn't want to go under turret necessarily. All right, I'm screwed. I won't be able to help this. I might jump back in because my stunts are still really useful. And I'm gonna go out again. I'm gonna kind of be waiting for a new option to go back in. Okay, I won't be able to. There's not gonna be an option. This guy's probably going to be chasing me down, but my mobility boots should help us out, and he doesn't have ult, so I should be okay. I should be all okay. As long as he doesn't have ult, he's just going for a real long walk, apparently. All right, so we'll back up. We'll group up with our team. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. And again, walk up with our Trist. Make sure that we match our back somewhat with her. Even though she died, we're kind of going to be looking for, okay, when... all right, she's getting a free kill. We are going to have to ult here because we just need to peel off this Vi at all costs. All right, we won't be able to. We did everything we could in order to try and keep Vi off her, but it just wasn't enough. All right, we're gonna get some of this gold, and this is something, especially here in the late game, if there's nobody else to pick this up, then try and last hit it, or at least make sure that it doesn't shove under the turret, and try and see if you can preserve some of it for your ADC. But we're kind of just gonna be hanging back here, kind of waiting for our ADC to come back up, and we're gonna make sure that we get some of this gold, so we actually can also become stronger. But we are really strong at this point. Like we are no joke at all, hopefully. Okay, so apparently I'm kind of trying to save this fortress. Sweet. And again, you can basically see what I've been doing all game. I've been sitting on top of my ADC as much as I possibly can. And this is one of the primary reasons why she is this fed. I'm not saying that she hasn't done anything and it's just me carrying her. It's not. But like, just sitting on your ADC like this is going to win you a lot more games, because you like, and then just constantly evaluate what makes sense for you to do. Like, does it make sense for you to peel one target instead of the other, and why? Always question yourself in terms of who you're going for. Don't just say, okay, I need to sit on Seraphine, or I need to sit on Ashe. Kind of constantly evaluate what's the biggest threat for your ADC. Put yourself in the shoes of your ADC and be like, okay, if I was an ADC, what would I do? So what we really want right now is actually we want our team to be grouping in order to actually finish this game. So we'll back out real quick. We'll buy whatever we can here, and we will just kind of follow along. So we're kind of just waiting for an opening to do something. So let's have a look. So again, Kha'Zix is getting caught in his jungle without vision, which is really not good. We're constantly having Trist, and this is something in the late game that is kind of sad, is you don't actually want to have the bot lane running around in bot, to be honest. I know this sounds weird, but you want to have the support and the ADC sitting in the mid lane, and then you want to have the mid laner instead going down to the side lanes. Oh crap, I don't think I can save this. I'm gonna try. No, I won't be able to get there. I walk away for 1 second, bro. 1 second. No, but this kind of comes to show, like, and again, my team is now just kind of fighting something that they probably shouldn't, and I'm probably gonna have to try and save this. So we'll just kind of peel them off. We're not going for that initiate. I'm just gonna make sure that I stun and CC anything I can while staying somewhat safe. So we did get 2 targets down without losing anything, so that's pretty good. But again, mostly because we just kind of peel it off. And a good kill there. But everything we need at this point is actually we just need our team to be grouping. And that's all we want. Group. Please. We could go for something like a Baron right here. We have 3 targets down for them, so going for Baron is not a bad call. If our team will please group up, then that would be perfect. Thing is, we don't have a control ward with us, which is kind of the downside, but they don't have any vision here, and for some reason I don't think they're going to be going for it. Okay, well, I was just kind of looking for whether or not I should jump over on that Ashe if an like opportunity that made sense presented itself, but nothing did, and for that reason we would just kind of hang back and just ensure that our teammates were safe. So let's get ourselves our mask here, and we're actually already full build, which is really, really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and group up with Trist again, and just make sure that we do everything we can to keep this guy safe. Drake is coming up in 3 seconds, so there is going to be coming a Drake fight 100%. And we're going to start scanning here because we want to make sure they don't have vision. Oh crap, I'm going to have to flash down here. We want to stun this Ashe because we want to do everything we can to save. And again, I just will not be able to save this. Like, or Trist jumping over this into the Dragon Pit is complete and utter suicide. There's not that much we can do. Like, I tried flashing down there and trying to, like, I was sitting between, okay, having to stun Vi, trying to peel her off, and trying to stun their ADC. And it's just kind of like, well, she's in range of both of them. And I might as well do it on the ADC because the ADC is the one dealing the most damage, but she's probably gonna die regardless because that jump was pure suicide. Like that, as an ADC, don't ever go for that jump. There is nothing your support can do to save you at all. And that's basically what happened. She jumped in there and yeah, she just signed her own death certificate. So we'll just kind of try again and group up, and we need this like we at this point what we need is just our Trist to play a little more defensive, or not defensive, but just kind of a little bit more safe, and let us stun the targets, let us keep people off her. But if she jumps after them completely mindlessly, then it's not going to be possible for us at all. But with that said, this game does not feel lost at all. It just feels like it's been a couple of bad fights, and that's just how it is. But here in the late game, it is fairly simple. It's a constant, like playing Leona mechanically is not that difficult, but in the overall in the game, it's just constantly thinking about, are you stunning the right targets? Do you need to use this ability in order to do this? Like, constantly think about what you're doing and the way you're doing it. And kind of, that's kind of the mindset you need to have when playing this. Again, or Trist is just going for, she's pushing quite far out, and she can be caught really easily up here. I'm gonna try and move there, and hopefully she won't die before. But we are sitting at a point where, like, just one mistake can mean the end of this game. And we've had so many good options. The thing is, now they're engaging up here. I don't know what they're doing. And Trist is staying in the side lane. I'm gonna be oh crap. Okay, nice. She got it. She got it, but I did not expect that to go well. All right, so we're gonna be hurrying back in and see if we can save the other one. Right now, we're kind of just pendling between them and trying to figure out like how we can save this game the most, because Trist is going for some really like, she's just dueling people, and she's not really getting that much from these duels. Like, yes, from time to time she gets a kill or a double, but it's not really doing anything for the game at this point. And this is something that, oh, we can actually catch this. And I think this is going to be pretty good. Because right here, they used everything on me. Like, basically, they used most of their stuff on me. And I was out of risk of dying as such. Like, As long as Darius went back in, then we were all good. I am so freaking tanky, so it's okay. And they used so many cooldowns on us. We have our ult back very soon again. Like the cooldown on Leona's ult at this point is just so very, very low. All right, whoop. Gotta be a little careful here. All right, gonna make sure that we stun this guy. Jump back over. We see their Teemo. Gonna be stunning that. And we are probably gonna be dying here from the dot. Oof, it's gonna be very close. But again, we're constantly just evaluating which target to use our stuff on and where we either this like reduces what the enemy is doing the most, like their damage or their CCs, or what options they have after a fight. Like this is also something like if you're sitting in a situation where whatever target you choose to lock down is the target that's gonna die, then also kind of evaluate if you know you're probably not going to be winning this team fight or this fight, but you have to kind of stick in the fight, then choose the target that basically could do the most objective wise for the enemy team. So if you're choosing between locking down Vi or locking down Ashe, then you know Ashe is going to have a lot better pushing potential than Vi is. So locking down Ashe is going to be the much better choice. So kind of constantly think about, like, there's a reason why in pro games that it's not very uncommon that teams choose their support as their team shot caller. And the reason for this is because the support has much more time, or what you say, mindfulness, or time to have mindfulness around what is the best choice for the team and what can they do in order to shut down the enemy team. Because as an ADC, yes, you have tools, but mostly you're just a damage dealer. You're a damage dealer that needs to do good positioning. That's mostly what you are. All right, we're just gonna lock down this guy that pretty much ended that kill. That was 100% almost green. Again, we have a target just walking down there. And again, I don't really get what this guy's doing. All right, I'm going to be hanging back a little bit. We do have flash and jump, so everything should be fine. Oh no, I missed it. That was so bad. I'm gonna be dead here, but most likely at least. I tried to get my ult off, but I didn't. I tried to get it off at the end. But this should be pretty much a GG. Our team should be able to finish this game now. There's like 40 seconds left. 2 inhibs down. Like, they should be able to finish this fairly easy. There are 3 people and they have the Elder Drake. I think this should most definitely be a GG. They should just be going directly for the turrets instead of the inhib, but okay, I guess the inhib is the safe call in this case. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a GG. That was a really good game. I feel like this kind of really showcases Leona in a nice way. I did not play this game perfectly. Warding wise, I could have been doing a lot better, and a lot of my calls could also have been better, but I hope it shows kind of the macro of playing Leona and the like thought process you need to have on her, because she is a really, really, really insane champion. Like, she really is. She's so fun. She has so good initiate. She has really good team fighting, but she is a constant. I'm gonna say it again. It all comes down to constantly evaluating which target is the biggest threat to your ADC and to your teammates. So constantly, like, don't just hang on one target and tunnel vision and stun that target. Like, it's okay sitting there and be like, okay, I need to stun this target now. Wait, another guy's running past me and going for my ADC. I need to use my jump on that guy to root him. Now the other guy's going past me. I need to stun him as he runs past me. Like, you constantly need to try and evaluate which target is the biggest threat. Don't just sit on one. And also make sure if you're playing against something with a hard channel like a Malthazar or a Vel'Koz or something that has an ability that just completely does either really big damage or CCs your team really hard, that you can interrupt with a stun, then make sure you have a stun for that. So against the Vel'Koz is a great example of where you want to be sitting on your ult till he ults, and then when he ults you want to make sure you pop your ult on him, or that you at least have your jump and can start jump and Q him. So yeah, I hope this kind of gave you an idea of how to play Leona. I thought this was a really fun game. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you guys are new in here, make sure to subscribe down below. Join in on our awesome community. It's been amazing to see all the support and seeing so many people also joining in on Discord. Welcome, guys. Really appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to see me live, go to twitch.tv/MipZ_live. I stream every single Friday. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out a lot. It tells YouTube that this video should be thrown out to more people. So thank you for that. And yeah, with that said, all I have left to say is stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.